the lady at the Daytona flea market. I also told Janet, so she might not be selling them anymore. But I bought some, and they were hollow, and they
Yeah,
splintered, literally splintered.
splintered. Yep.
They are not the same thing that we are used to buying at that particular place. So if you go there, make sure you're getting the ones that are not hollow. I brought this to Janet's attention, and she may or may not have talked to the person about it because they're close friends or something. So, and yes, and they have moved. They got a place that's twice as big now.
So good point, Jeanette. Thank you. Again, be aware of what your dog is putting in their mouth. If they're chewing a bone and you think, oh, they're fine, and then you hear like, I don't know, just a piece comes off, throw the whole bone away. Don't even mess with it. Just throw the whole thing away. And sometimes you have to go through a few toys before you find that a certain toy works. But definitely, I've gotten a couple of beef bones from Publix, and I have had very good luck with them. The actual from the butcher, going up and ask them for a dog bone. I don't know if I don't remember how much they are, but they will give you the beef bone. There is usually a little bit of meat on it. And for whether they're young or older dogs, I let them have it for about 10 minutes. And then I take it away from them and I put it in the freezer. And then I let them have it again the next day. If you give it to them just indefinitely, most dogs will get a sick tummy and they'll end up with diarrhea. So you only want to give it to them a little bit. I've done 10 minutes and then 10 minutes. By the third or fourth night or day, whatever, then I give them the bone and they can have it. But I stick it in the freezer. I don't know why I stick it in the freezer. Somebody told me to do that. I don't know. It's like that pan that your mother gave you, and I don't know. Anyway, I stick it in the freezer. So I think I stick in the freezer because of the meat on it. But by the third or fourth day, the meat is gone and they have a bone that they love to chew on. So
Wendy, I have a question. And it's about Capone again.
Yes.
It's about a growl. Maybe 3-4 total, maybe a total of 4 times. He has growled at somebody. And it's inconsistent whether it be a woman or a man. And I'm not sure why.
So it's usually at a person?
Yes.
Is Capone fixed?
He will be, as he's getting fixed on the 14th of April.
Okay. So what do you do when he growls? What do you do? Is it like a or is it like a
Oh, it's just a slow, and usually he's watching somebody. It's a slow growl, but then he'll be then he'll do it again. Then he'll do it again. So I tell him no, because I don't want the person to be afraid of him.
Right. Tell him leave it.
Yeah.
And then if you can divert his
away.
attention is
Divert
good.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want him growling at somebody.
Right.
It may get better once he gets fixed, but he's older, so I would definitely no. And if you can have a treat in your pocket when he stops growling, you can give him a treat and tell him good job, good, but you definitely don't want him growling at people.
Right.
Watch your wallet. He may pick up on something that you're not.
That's true. Yes.
What'd you say?
Sometimes.
Oh, watch your wallet. Well, it's when it is, he's usually right. I mean, to be honest, it's something I'm like, okay, I understand. I mean, I'm thinking in my mind, I understand.
Right.
But there's no apparent threat to either one of us at this point. But yeah. Okay. So I'll see how it goes.
So you could say when he growls, you could say, okay, thank you, that's enough, and kind of go on.
Okay.
If he continues to growl again, say, okay, that's enough, quiet, but you've got to be firm.
Right.
You also have to remember that what they're seeing may be something that you're used to seeing and they're not.
Right.
Right.
Just like we talked about before with wearing a different type of a hat. I've had a dog that has done that when we've been out in public. They may be used to wearing a baseball cap, but this one maybe had a big fluffy funny hat on, and the dog was growling at it, and it's like, well, I wasn't paying any attention, didn't think it was wrong, but the dog did. So, you know,
Right,
you have to
Yeah.
direct the dog then into a different reaction.
Right.
okay, yeah.
Right. Yep.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, not to go real quick. So this is a Publix bone that I got. And this has lasted my dogs for a while. There was a little bit of meat in there, a little bit out here. And so I've had a couple of these where Hess has been able to break this and I have thrown it away. I'm like, nope, we're not doing, but he's chewed on this one for a long time. So just a recommendation. And then somebody asked about these the other day. This, I think I got this, I want to say I got it from Publix.
That's awesome. Got it off of Amazon.
Yeah, this one I want to say I got at Publix. I'm not positive, but this is really hard. The puppy loves it. And yes, thank you. You are awesome. That's my husband. He's awesome. Okay, and this is one, this I got off of Amazon. I think these are only like, I want to say $5, I think.
No, they're about 10, but they're wonderful. They're just,
Oh, they're not-
I have 2 of them.
Okay, anyway, they're great. I don't know what they're called. If you look for the round brown dog toy, you might be able to find it. Anyway,
Well, they love it. They like to chew on all those little
Yeah,
protrusions.
this is great. I've not had any issues with it. Nobody has been able to bust it apart. It like
Yeah.
it's and Hess is a chewer. And I have this for this is rubber, but it's a tug toy. I think I got this from Chewy. I think. And so I play tug with the dogs with this. Now, as soon as this has been chewed on, and it's not been chewed apart. There are no pieces missing from it. So, just suggestions. These toys, my dog.
What brand is that? Do you know? What brand is it? Tug.
It says Soda Pup. Soda Pup. I thought I got it from Chewy. I may not have, but I thought I did. Okay, so those are just suggestions. Okay, it is 8:16. All right, we want to let you guys off in a few minutes. All right, what else? So we talked about using wheelchair, section 12. Okay, we talked about wait and stay. Oh, settle. Yes, settle is a very important skill your dog needs to have. It's a command used to calm the dog, to settle them down. So you wouldn't be like, settle, settle, settle. Quinny's looking like, what? It would be like, settle. You have to be settled in order to settle your dog. And this works. If you are calm and the dog can feel your calm energy, they're going to calm down. Yes. Yes. So the tone of voice is very important. Your energy, just the way that you come across, how they're feeling it through the leash. It should be quiet and calming. If you use an excited voice, like I did at first, it's going to have the opposite effect. They're going to be like, what am I doing? And there are times when it's important. It's better to say settle than it is to say, oh, it's okay. If you notice that your dog maybe is a little anxious about something, it's better to say settle and be firm, but sweet and calm than it is. We don't want you saying it's okay. We don't want you reassuring them, because then they interpret that something is wrong, so to speak. So you want your voice to be firm, and you want to pet them either behind their, like back here, behind their ears, down their chest. It's okay. Settle. Good job. Yes. Good settle. That's literally what it is. You are settling your dog. So very often we'll use settle for when they go in and under the table. I've had a couple of dogs that they'll go in beautifully, but then they like are walking around under the table. Like, what are you doing? And so I have to use the settle command. Sometimes when I go into an appointment, their job is to go in under the chair, and every so often I have to use the word settle. Okay, it's time to settle, because it takes them a few minutes. With Wrangler on the flight, had to use the word settle just because it takes them. They're in a new place. There's new sounds. And so you have to think about what that dog is hearing and what's coming through their senses. And so settle, if you can be calm, usually you can get your dog to calm. But we don't want to be saying, oh, it's okay, you're all right. We don't want to say that when we notice that they're, bonkers or somewhat bonkers. Does that make sense? Yes. That one should be kind of an easy one, kind of a fun one, because you're petting your dog and it might even settle you. It's supposed to make our heart rate better, right?
It does. I've settled myself down that way.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And oh gosh, it just went into my head and now it's out again. Darn it. Okay, making a friend. So we've talked about this a lot of times before at trainings. We want your dog to make friends, but we don't want your dog to make friends if they are like blah, if they're like just acting in a way that they shouldn't be. They're like dancing on their feet or they're pulling toward the person. At that point, they're done. They're not making a friend. The only time your dog should make a friend with somebody is if it's okay with you and they are in a controlled state. If they're not, it's your job to say, sorry, they can't make a friend today, they're working. And I would practice it in front of the mirror because you're going to have people ask you. And if you're uncomfortable saying no, then go in front of the mirror and practice and say, I'm sorry, today you can't pet my dog or can't make a friend. And sometimes I'll explain to people, usually I do allow him to make a friend, but today he's not acting the way he needs to be. And I'm really sorry he can't make a friend. And they're like, oh, some people will be offended. I don't care. I mean, I'm at the point where I don't care. Some of you are pretty new. And I remember being new and thinking, oh God, I have to let them pet my dog. You don't. This is a service dog in training. They have a job and they do not have to make a friend.
Wendy,
yes.
Wendy, I thought when we did that question and answer with Libby and Janet that one time, that they said they are taking Make a Friend away. They do not want us using that at all anymore because Libby's finding too many of the dogs want to go make a friend when they're not allowed to.
So I don't know that we're taking it away. I think that we need to be more in control of it.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm saying. If your dog is ignoring and can ignore any outside, like a child or an adult, and you know that, like now I know Hess well enough. I can tell when he's excited about making a friend and I just don't let him. But if he's standing by my side and he's relaxed and calm, that I don't have a problem with allowing him to make a friend. But you can't let your emotions control whether oh my gosh, I know this person, they're going to want to meet it. No, that's not how it works. Your goal is to get the dog so that they can make a friend without responding. Oh my gosh, Kathy, that's so cute. That doggy's so cute.
Okay, Wendy,
Yes.
one of the things you wanted to talk about was greeting at the door.
Yes, thank you. That was where I was going. That was what I forgot. Thank you. Okay. Greeting at the door, a greeting at all, like making a friend. So if somebody comes to the door and your dog is like, oh, yay, I'm so happy to see you. That's not what we want. You need to tell the person that they have to ignore the dog. Ignore them. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. The other thing you might want to do, which we've suggested to lots of you, is to use a leash. Put your dog on the leash and make them do a sit or just wait by you. Let your friend, person, family, whoever come in and get settled before you let the dog make a friend. You also, and I am totally guilty of this. I am just excited to see my dogs at the end when I come home from school as they are to see me. And so I would be like, hi, puppies. And I've just been listening to this book recently. And I just realized that I'm doing Hess a disservice because he gets so excited. So I'm starting to ignore him and not say anything to him until he has settled on all four of his feet. And he just is standing by me like, okay, what are we doing next?
I have not worked with Wrangler this afternoon.
Didn't work today. I'm because we're making monsters is what we're doing. I know I'm doing it because I'm so excited to see my dogs. I can't help it. So now I'm readjusting myself and I'm going to I came home today and I was much calmer. You can still Well, if your dog is too excitable, I would suggest you not speak to them at all until they've settled. Once they settle, then you can say, hello, it's so nice to see you. Did you have a good day? You know, but because we're just teaching them bad things when we get excited and they get excited and then they're jumping. And so I know a few of you have started to use the leash. That's perfectly fine. Using the leash inside is not a bad thing. In fact, I am going to do that with Wasabi. I'm going to allow him to drag the leash around the house. I mean, while I'm supervising, because one of the things that I've noticed, my daughter has done that with her dog that she got from New Horizons. She has done that, and her dog, like when we get ready to go for a walk, Brooklyn just walks to the door very calmly, like, okay, like, and some dogs who are not, don't see their leash except for walks, what do?
They go crazy.
They go crazy. They're like, oh my God, we're going on a walk. So I have decided that Wasabi, I'm going to try that same thing. Never done it. I've raised this. Wasabi's number 26, and I'm going to try it with Wasabi and see how it does. Because Hess is older, so he doesn't get so excited. But even Quinn, who's 4, she's like, oh my God, we're going, and we walk all the time. So I'm going to try something new and see if it works. And I'm also I've started to come home and not be so excited when I walk in the door. Just come in very calmly. And if they're like, you know, oh my God, mom is home, I'm going to ignore them until they calm down. I'm going to try.
Good luck, Wendy.
Good luck with that, Wendy.
Good luck, Wendy.
I'm going to try because especially, so because Quinn is a therapy dog, not as big a deal, but I still want her to have manners, and she's pretty good when people come, but I want Hess to learn also that it's not okay to act like a crazy dog when people walk in the door, whether it's me or the next door neighbor. And so I have to show him how to act.
And we've got Denozo, and Denozo loves Wendy and Tim because he knows them. Well, he exhibits affection still.
Yeah.
By putting whatever in reach of you in his mouth.
Yeah.
I think he would put your head in his mouth if he could reach it. But we've been working really hard with him to greet people at the door appropriately. And it's just a case of Lamar will sit with him on the leash until he has settled, and then he gets to greet whoever's come in.
Yep.
But he's big.
Yes, he is big. And a lot of our dogs are 70, 75 pounds. So if you have a younger dog, this is something you can start working on. If you know your dog is excitable when people walk in the door. And if you have an older dog, like I do, then it's something that you should start working on, teaching them to have manners. So if you can get somebody to practice with you, like a neighbor, to come to the door, and you know your dog's excitable, I would put your dog on a leash. Put him on a leash, have him under control in the leash, and let the person come in. And tell the person, don't talk to the dog. Don't look at him, don't make eye contact, nothing. So that's something I think all of us probably, some of us may have dogs that are pretty calm when people come in, but some of us may not. I know them. I know who they are. And so it's something we all can work on, because we don't want our dogs to act like idiots. You know, we want them.
Wendy, I had a neighbor who was always so excited to see whatever dog I had, and would also get the dog hyped up. And I have finally trained her to ignore, just walk right by.
Good.
And life is so much better now.
Yeah. Sometimes it's about training the neighbors or training that's what it is. I've had to train lots of my friends to just leave the dog. So real quick, somebody asked about tips for separation anxiety. Nicole, are you still on here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so are you leaving the puppy in the crate?
Yes.
Okay, so I would leave him. How does he do at night?
He's doing better, but I had to get the puppy with the heartbeat to get him to settle down.
Wow. Really? And he's Wasabi's brother, right?
Correct.
Gosh,
Yeah, it was
Wasabi is-
really bad, awful.
That's so interesting. So what I did was I did cover up the crate. The first night Wasabi did cry for a little bit, but he's in my room. Where's your crate?
Right next to me. I mean, inches away, and right next to Kermit as well.
So I would try a towel or a blanket and cover the crate if you haven't done that already. And the other thing is you want to be able to leave him at home. So I would, when you're not going somewhere, I would put him in the crate, but I would go quietly sit like where he can't hear you and just let him cry. See how long he cries it out. He will stop eventually. And I wouldn't even necessarily leave Kermit with him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, I did go to the grocery store the other day. I have a Furbo, and he barked continuously for an hour, nonstop.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's really bad. So like the first few nights, it was really excessive until I got the puppy with the heartbeat. So
That's so interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I would.
Maybe he misses his siblings.
Yeah.
I have Fennel, Hazel's brother, and I had to get Fennel the heartbeat dog also to settle at night.
Wow, so interesting. Huh.
yeah, I've kind of prepped my neighbors, and so I mean, everyone knows me now, and they're okay with it, but it's excessive.
So he doesn't do it at night though. Now at night he's okay. Well, of course he's not separated from you. You're inches away from him.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Try covering it in the day when you leave him.
Yes.
Also try a fan.
Okay.
Putting a
Okay.
fan.
He's very warm too. He gets
Yep.
himself so worked up that when I
Yep.
get home, he's like a little oven.
Yep. Put a fan. I used to put it, some of my dogs, I put a fan, literally I plugged it in and put it right outside their crate. And that has helped immensely. Do you leave music on?
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
mean, those are the, it's slowly, I think it will get better as long as you don't give in to his crying.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't get in, that's for
No,
sure.
you can't. And I know you live in an apartment, right?
Townhouse. So yeah,
Okay.
again, most of my neighbors, they both know, and they said they haven't heard much, but it goes on and on
Okay.
and on.
And
the
it's probably
Furbo-
worse for you than it is for anybody. I would definitely try a fan. I would definitely try covering him up with a blanket, covering the crate, and see if either of those work at all. I found that a fan worked really well. Just they were overheated for whatever reason. I put a fan on them. I don't know. Try that, but definitely leave him, maybe just a few minutes at a time. And the minute he stops crying, go in and go, yes, good job, and treat him. It's got to be like, it's the timing thing, but yeah, that's.
Well, I don't know if you wouldn't want to do it immediately, would you? Because you've gotten them to quiet down and they're going to think they can act like that and they'll get a treat.
Well, but if he's quiet,
Yeah, but
you
for
want
how
him to
long?
quiet. I mean, that's why it's about timing. Like you're not,
Yeah, at that moment.
Yes. So it's about timing, but if you can put up with it, you definitely, because there's going to be times when you're going to need to go and leave him and he's got to get used to it. He will. It'll be persistence on your part,
Yeah.
which I know
Okay.
you can do because I've seen it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Laura has reminded us to watch the pavements, getting hot out. Just slip your flip flop off or your whatever, or hold your hand down. 7 seconds. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for them. So yeah, I have a little thing I was going to send out. Yes, and Jeanette reminds me, it's not just heel. You also want to teach side. So when you go and you look in your booklet, in your manual, heel and side, I want to say they're close together. I think they are. They're pretty close together. Yeah, so heel is on your left, side is on your right. We do use heel more, but they do need to know side. And I wouldn't say like that's the next, if for these little puppies, that's not the most important thing, but for our older dogs, we want to make sure they know both.
Wendy, one other thing that I know that Joe was having a problem with was with the housebreaking, potty training. Can you touch on that?
On
Joe's
potty
online.
training,
Potty training, yeah, go busy.
get them outside, get them outside, get them outside.
But okay.
I mean, really,
I know.
If your dog pees in the house or poops in the house, it's because we didn't do our job.
Right.
Most of the time. I mean, we got to get them out. You know, you've got to, when they wake up, after they eat, 10 minutes after they eat, 20 minutes after they eat. I mean, you've got to give them first thing in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, accidents do happen.
Yep.
But the
Jill,
more,
I think Jill is on. Maybe she can tell you.
Oh,
what
yeah, but
that-
I can't get to talk. I am on, but I'm muted.
no,
You're
not
on. We hear you.
We hear you.
Tell her what's happening with Saffron. Jill, you've muted yourself, I think.
Wait a minute. Wait, I think I can. Oh, yeah, she did. Okay, wait.
I got it. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. She has no problem in the crate. Whatever time we put her in, she will stay there until one of us wakes up at 8:30, 9:30. And she's just sitting there. She doesn't say food. So she can hold it. But when I take her out, she goes immediately and then she comes in and she'll go again. You know, she'll just be again right in front of me.
So it's possible that she needs to go out a little earlier. She's Saffron is Wasabi's sister.
9.5, yeah.
Okay, so she probably shouldn't be crated until 8:30 or 9. Like she probably needs to go out a
There's
little
no
bit early.
problem then, no problem later, but you know, sometime later in the day, I pee on the kitchen floor.
So it's just that she's not getting out enough. She needs to be going out more.
Okay.
Well,
do
but
I-
they don't
If she drinks
keep
water within 5 minutes, take her outside. If she
Oh, yeah,
eats
she drinks
or
water.
sleeps,
Wendy.
yes.
Wendy, I think the problem is Jill has the kitchen closed off and she has the crate in the kitchen. And then they have, and Jill, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I don't understand. But then they let Saffron out. They don't have her in the crate. They just have her free in the kitchen. And then she pees and she does her business in the kitchen. She doesn't go in a crate, but she does go in the kitchen. And I know that is something that she considers that not her sleeping place. That's just where she goes there. So
Right.
how do you stop that?
She has to be getting outside more.
Do I leave her in the crate? Do I leave her in the crate all the time?
No,
No.
no, no, I don't leave. I take Wasabi out and give him a lot of playtime and potty time. And then we come in for a little while and then we go back out. And so I mean, when they're this little, the more they get out, the more they're going to associate going potty outside as opposed to going potty inside.
Every time she wakes up, I take her out and she goes right away.
Okay.
She will come in and go again in, 10 minutes or something.
Does she actually go when you take her out? Like you see her?
Yes, because I look to see and make sure that there's whatever there is and it's clear water, whatever, I do make sure.
Is she
isn't just
licking
pretending.
herself or anything?
No, she's scratching. She scratches herself.
They're scratching now. I think there's still a lot of pollen because I noticed mine are scratching too. And
No, she doesn't lick herself at all. She loves to just lay there and go to sleep. She has no problem, and no problem as soon as she wakes up, I take her right out. She's fine.
Maybe if you could just make note of how, and you're like either on a piece of paper or something, how often you're taking her out. Because I feel like I take Wasabi when he's awake, I take him out often. When he's sleeping, I don't. And then as soon as he wakes up, I take him.
Okay, so don't leave her in the crate all the time. Just
No,
take her out.
no.
Crate.
no, not all the time,
When
no.
you take her, she should go outside at she should go outside every hour, at least once an hour.
Yep.
If you also, when she goes out and she potties, a lot of praise, good busy, or even a small treat that she doesn't get any other time except when she busies outside. But she should go out every hour until she gets the idea,
Right.
except at night. And at night, she should be kenneled.
Yes. Yep. Somebody asked where the training is located. Is Carlina still on here? I know she was here
Left.
for a while. Okay, so
Left.
I don't know
I
what.
think,
she means.
I think Jeanette gave her the address.
Okay, so is there an Orlando training anytime soon? It'll be, so we just had one. April's will be down south. May's will be up here again. Have a question about their dew claws. I noticed Gregor's have grown back and one kind of curls under into his fur. And she left too. Oh no, she's still here. Hi, April. April, are you able to cut it? Does he have both of his dew claws?
Yeah, so one grew back really small, it's kind of splintered, but the other one's really long and it curls a lot. I tried to Dremel it the other day. He let me do it for like a few
Yeah,
seconds.
so I think if you can cut it, because I think because they took them off and they grew back, they're literally just dead nail, I think. So I would cut it if you
How
can.
short should I do it? That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm sorry, what?
Should I do it to where like it almost looks like it's not there?
Yeah,
I'm
because
afraid of doing it, cutting it too
I
short.
think it's one, because they took the dew claw off, I think it's, then when it grows back, I think it's just dead nail. I don't think
You
it's.
can also try, I would
Okay.
also try talking to a local groomer because it sounds like that's what's happened and they're gonna have the tools to do that.
Is
So
he
find a good
neutered?
groomer.
Is he?
Yeah, he's neutered.
Oh, he is, okay, so
Yeah.
maybe, okay, I just wondered if he wasn't neutered, they could do it, they could take him off again. Yeah, some grow back, I don't really know, I don't know why. It just.
They don't know why.
No,
But check with your local groomer or local vet even, and they'll help you get it off if you're uncomfortable doing it yourself.
Okay.
I would.
I'll bring tips when I come down. I'll
That's
bring
what I
tips
do.
when I come down.
I
Okay.
do have another question real quick. Sorry.
yes,
When you were talking about the anxiety, the separation,
yes.
you know, my girl Blinker, if I'm not here, you can see her on the camera. It's like she wanders around like looking for me the whole time.
Mhm.
Then of course, you know, when I get home, she gets real excited. You know, she's supposed to go in heat again in the next month and a half, 2 months. We know how she got when she had her puppies. The stress of being gone caused the pancreatitis. How do I break a 4-year-old dog of that?
Yeah, eh,
You don't.
Wow.
yeah, it's hard, I know, yeah, it's hard. It's hard,
I mean, she wanders around for hours around this house looking for me. Like if Mike's here with Boggle, she pays no attention to them and she's looking for me.
yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good question. I just would do some research on separation anxiety. I know that
Okay.
Cesar Milan addresses it and he has some
I would
tips.
be careful using his stuff.
Well,
Try-
some of his stuff is good, Deb, not all of it, but some of it is good.
Try
Just-
Brandon McCullough, Brandon McMillan. He's also a good one. He does the CBS Lucky Dog thing.
Yeah,
And he has a really good video on how to do separation anxiety.
yeah,
And because he uses rescues, they're older dogs.
yeah.
Okay.
I would just do some research on it, just, you know, because.
Can
there
you
might
put
be
that in the
stuff
chat?
that you haven't tried.
Okay.
Can you put that in the chat, the name, please?
Yes.
Brandon
Um,
McMillan.
McMillan, yeah.
Yep, somebody asked if the training on 423, the training's on 424 in West Palm is appropriate for puppies that are, we already addressed that are not fully vaccinated, no. Anchor barks at other dogs when we are out, like, and then the person didn't finish it, like what? Oh, like a hello bark, I have him watch me and use treats if needed to get his attention. Any other tips to try when this happens? I mean, there's lots of things you can do to get his attention, to not be on the dog that he's barking at. Tell him to quiet. Tell him to, I wouldn't necessarily walk away because the gentleman that was with us a few weeks ago, Pat, he didn't recommend walking away from a dog. But I would see if quiet works and continue using treats if needed. Will the training info be emailed, including hotel? Yes, it will be. I put peanut butter inside the bone and freeze it. Yep. What brand Bam Bones was too soft? Oh, that was Lauren Humvee. Oh gosh. Yeah. Somebody said Nylabone rings, Nylabones. Yep, we got lots of suggestions. Yep, we're wrapping up. This is awesome. Okay, I think that's it. I just want to make sure I addressed all the questions. Dinner's going to burn. Okay. I think that's it. All right, so look for hotel information. It's coming out. If you're interested in going, please don't feel any pressure. If you live up in this area and you just can't, it's fine. We will be having a training in May in this area. So if you're on the West Coast, we will be coming to you soon. On the West Coast, yes, on the West Coast of Florida. Otherwise, any last thoughts, questions? Going once, going twice, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Deb. Thank you, Laura. Bye,
Thank you. This is
guys.
great.
Hope it was helpful.
Oh, good.